Haagen-Dazs is paying them for that.
I know.
So they get money just to hold an ice cream cone. Which I'll take any fucking day of the week.
So
Seriously?
Let me ask you
wouldn't
this.
take money to eat Haagen-Dazs? You love Haagen-Dazs. If they were like, Bill Burr, $100,000. You and your wife come out of Haagen-Dazs holding an ice cream cone. No, you wouldn't do it, though.
No.
I know.
Because then you become them. Then everything you say, I'm still of that. I'm still of that old school thing where, look, I've come to this point as far as what I think selling out is. Mm-hmm. Selling out is not something that the fans decide. So I'm not even a fan of this, but as an observer of them, I shouldn't say whether they sold out or not. I really think it comes down to the performer. And basically selling out is when you don't want to do something, but you do it anyways because of the money, and then afterwards you feel fucking horrible. To me, if that's what you feel like at the end of it, then you sold yourself out. You did.
I don't think selling out I feel like selling out isn't even a real thing anymore. I just feel like that's an antiquated concept. Is that? I feel like there's the idea of selling out.
Yeah, there is.
I don't feel that it really truly exists anymore.
Oh, okay.
There's just different platforms for artists to make money. And, your time can come and go very quickly. So if you can get $100,000 for holding an ice cream cone and getting your picture taken, is that really going to, keep you up at night? I can't believe I did that for the money, No,
I'm not saying it's going to. I'm not saying it's not going to. I'm going to say with some people it is, and some people it isn't.
Yeah, but you're very particular about where you choose to do any kind of advertising and stuff because you care about stuff like that. So I understand.
Yeah, look, I do like advertising on this podcast. I'm not against it. I'm not saying that. Jesus Christ. That's how this whole fucking business. I got to advertise for my shows and that type of thing. But it's like anything. It's like, hey, I like to drink. Then there's a point where you've drank too much and you're making an ass of yourself. There are limits to everything. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, this is like I'm doing this grassroots thing. I'm not saying that. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is just that whole selling out thing. I think it still exists, but it's up to the individual. So I would never say that if I see somebody do a commercial, they sold out. It would have to come from them. It'd have to come from them where if they did it and then afterwards they're like, oh my God, I was in all these great movies. Right. And next thing you know, I'm standing there doing a cell phone fucking commercial. And when I saw it, I just felt like, what did I do? What did I do to my image? Because this whole fucking game, is constantly trying to stay ahead so they don't fucking pigeonhole you. And then also not stepping on a fucking landmine, which is doing a bad movie or putting out a bad special. There's all these different landmines that you're trying not to step on, but I think that there's definitely ways that you can sell out. But the younger me I bought into that whole Bill Hicks thing of if you do a commercial, you're off the artistic roll call, and I was hardcore believing that, and then just getting older, and it's just like, no, look, it all comes down it's your career. You do what you want. Look, there's people out there.
Adam Levine does commercials for Proactive, but so do a lot. It's like Diddy did one, Katy Perry does one. A lot of them do that whole, I had acne, and it made me feel really bad about myself. And now I am Proactive, and now I'm happy again.
Yeah, and this is the thing. They can all afford Proactive. So you're basically just going there to get paid.
Right.
And you're going to stand there and hold it more closer up to your face. Now, to me, that would make me want to go jump off a fucking building. Okay, I felt weird when I first started doing advertising on this thing, but what I tried to do was at least I'll try to make these things fucking funny. But I'm not against taking advertising money. Mm-hmm. I guess if you really believe in it, like the shit that I've read on this stuff, the stuff that I believe in, right? I fucking read it, and then if it sounds fucking stupid to me,
we know where you're going with this one.
I just say it sounds stupid. Where am I going? I'm just saying. It wasn't, look, it was beyond Sherry's Berries and Nature's Box. There's some shit that fucking didn't even make the podcast. There was one thing that I read when I wasn't even thinking one week. It was some fucking banker thing. And my buddy, Andrew, who puts all the lists together and everything that I read, he was in banking. He said, Bill, these guys, they're tricking people, they're doing this, and they're going to fuck over your listeners. So I immediately took it off, and they were supposed to do a 3-week thing, and I had read one of them, and I just told my ad lady, said, listen, just take them off. That first one's a free one up. They don't have to pay me, but I don't want to read. Because, I don't have time to fucking look at all of those things. So sometimes I will read something that I don't believe in. And then if I'm smart enough and I catch it as I'm reading it, I make fun of it. That's what I do. I make fun of it and say it's shit. And then they get mad. Right. And they yell at me or yell at my ad lady. And then we just go, all right, well, you're not going to be on the podcast then. It's cool.
Right.
Which is funny. So you can't get fired off of your own podcast. So, look, I'm not saying that, like, I don't want people thinking that I'm sitting there saying that I'm this righteous fucking person. I'm not saying that, but there's definitely, there's always selling out. Unless you just completely don't give a fuck. You never gave a fuck, and you're just like, look, if you're gonna pay me, I'm gonna fucking do it. Then
it's less about selling out and more about like survival. And more about like, let me just sort of hit everything.
No, if you need the fucking money. If you're sitting there in a house and they're going to throw you out, and then Kit Kat comes up and says, hey, we want you to wear a thong and go down a water slide backwards. I mean, you got to sit there and be like, fuck, man, I got to do it. I mean, I can't be out in the fucking street.
Maybe it's not their first choice to, be paid by Haagen-Dazs to come out of. But they're also having a wedding or whatever in Versailles, and that shit's got to be paid for.
But listen.
So Haagen-Dazs paid for that.
Look, I'm not saying that if you do that, you sold out. But I'm not saying that if you do it, you didn't. It all depends on the person after they did it. After they fucking did it, how did they feel? If they thought, fuck, that was great, that was easy money, blah, 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 and they continue on, then I don't think they sold themselves out. I really, at this point in my life, I feel like selling out is a personal thing. And as much as fans will accuse of a person of it or whatever, that it's just speculation. Because it really comes down to the person. Like a lot of musicians now, I mean, because the whole star-making thing went away, there is no MTV, there is no videos, there aren't these labels in these CD stores now. It really is on your own. Back in the day when I was growing up, if your music was in a car and it was in any commercial, you were a fucking sellout. And like that really, like people would just say he's a fucking sellout. He took the corporate buck and all that. It was a really thing because there was all these other ways. I think then where you could still be this big person, but now
and be like this pure artist, uncorrupted by the system that you're trying to get into, and that's kind of the whole fucking point of it.
Now that I disagree with it. I disagree with that because what you're saying is either you're a fucking whore sucking dick, or you're this lonely bastard. Rather than you can be in a healthy fucking relationship. There's plenty of people that are in this business and they just do their movies or they just do their TV show. There's a zillion people and you don't see them going like, I'll tell you, when I come home from work and I want to relax, I fucking blah, 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 blah. There's plenty of people that don't do that. Now, I'm not saying that they're any better than the people who decide like, yeah, fuck it, I'll take the money to go do a product. I actually like that product or whatever. I'm really saying that it's an individual... It's an individual thing.
All right.
How you want to be perceived, how you want to go about this business. And I think the more that people do it, the less the less it's going to have like that stigma. Like, I mean, you see a lot of these movie stars that are doing it, the commercials now, it's because people stole movies. So right now, basically, the only movies that they make, it's this shrinking puddle. The only movies that they make now are either those $100 zillion Transformer Godzilla things where even though they're going to be on a pirate bay, people still will hopefully want to get the experience, or it's going to be a low-budget thing. The thing that got killed was the $30, $50, $60, $80 million movie. Those things are gone. Not totally, but if you get like a Martin Scorsese behind it, you can get the thing made. But like I don't have the exact numbers. I was talking to my agent about this. Because I'm seeing a lot of movie stars all of a sudden going back to doing stand-up. I'm seeing a lot of them doing like commercials and all that type of thing. It isn't necessarily because they want to. It's because the business has changed and is going in the direction of the of the music business.
So then to that end, then I don't think they can be accused of selling out either. You know, because of everything that you said. So.
I don't think you can accuse anybody of selling out, but the only person who knows, I feel, is the person who did it. If afterwards, when you walked out of there, if you felt like you needed a shower, if you just, you're sitting there and drag fucking whatever the fuck you're doing, whatever job it is that you're doing, and believe me, I've had those. I
just don't feel like it affects people's brands or images in that way anymore. Like, I just don't.
No, I don't either. I don't either.
Like, people thought like Kanye even getting involved with Kim Kardashian, let alone marrying her and singing the praises of her and her family, was going to like destroy his fan base. And no way, it's not happening. If anything, it's going to make it even bigger. Here's
one for you. This is how much this business has changed with the perception. Back in the day, if you were a movie star, you were a movie star, and you did not do TV. That was considered a major fuck up. I mean, you could start in the business doing your commercials, and then once you got to the TV level or something, it was really hard when you were a TV star. Like, they wouldn't even people see you on TV. You are this. You are that. You're a commercial actor. You're a movie star. You're a TV star. And then over the years, it started to, I mean, it was an amazing thing back in the day when a guy like Bruce Willis went from moonlighting, and then he did Die Hard, and all of a sudden he was this fucking movie star. I mean, that was still an amazing thing to do. And now it's like people jump back and forth, which I think is a cool thing. But way back in the day,
it's smart. Halle Berry's on a TV series.
Who is that? Who is that? That actor, that actress. We went to that party, and turned out she had lived around the corner. African American actress from like the 30s or 40s, dated that fucking
Dorothy Dandridge.
Yeah. Now she dated this guy or married this white dude who had a fucking supper club.
Yeah.
And he marries her and is convincing her that she should go down there as a movie star and sing at his supper club in Hollywood. That is not going to be filmed. Nobody's going to see it. Right. And all of her friends begged her, don't do that. Right. That's going to kill your fucking movie career if you as a movie star are seen singing in this supper club. And out of love for this guy who turned out to be not a good guy, she did it, and it actually hurt her movie career. So back then, like how hardcore those lines were back then, I don't think that exists anymore. But I have to tell you, though, there are certain people that I don't want to see doing a fucking Snickers commercial or
right. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you saw Joe Pesci in the Snickers commercial? I didn't mind. It didn't hurt my opinion of Joe Pesci. It was funny. He was in it for like 2 seconds.
But those things are well written in the way it is what they're actually saying is you're not yourself.
Right.
So there's almost this way that it's a really slick way to get the celebrity in and out, where they can just sort of not have to take a full shower, just sort of dab their forehead, take their bag of money and leave. Look, I'm not saying I would never do one of those, but as of right now, like, I just feel like, I don't know. I like telling my jokes, and I like doing the acting gigs that they give me. And I think that at the end of it all, you want to have quality. Yeah, you want to have quality, and I always feel like when something that comes down the pike that is just a money fucking gig, there's always that, okay, I could take this, or I could just do a couple extra weekends of stand-up, and I could make up, some of that money, and then I don't have that. But, I mean, we all got our fucking shit when we were coming up. Everybody's got some student films and shit that like that stuff I don't count. But I really feel that, at the end of it, I just feel it's a personal thing. They're like, look, there's people who they get sick of doing the road, and it's like, I don't want to fucking go out there anymore. I don't want to fucking deal with the check spots. I don't want to deal with the drunks after the show. I don't want to get on another fucking airplane. Okay, I've had it. The old me wanted to do that. I did that, and I proved that I could do that. If you want me to go do a fucking commercial and take this fucking money, and I'm a day and a half, and it pays my mortgage for the year, I'll do it. And I don't think there's a fucking thing wrong with that.
There you go.
Okay? I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
There you go. And
unless afterwards you feel like a filthy fucking whore.